Have you ever touched your cat's ears and thought, why are they freezing even though it's quite warm in here? Well, you're not alone. For some cats, cold ears seem to be, just a permanent feature. No matter the season, what the thermostat says, or how sort of cozy they look otherwise, especially when they're all curled up on the sofa. While it can be quite surprising, or perhaps even worrying, the reason typically has nothing to do with your cat being cold at all. And today in this video we're going to break it all down and talk about why some cats have cold ears regardless of the temperature, what's completely normal, when those cold ears might be your cat's way of telling you that something perhaps just isn't right. But before we do begin, I'd like to welcome everyone to Senior Cat Wellness 2, the companion for the OG, the original channel that you hopefully know and love, Senior Cat Wellness. If you're new to Senior Cat Wellness 2, please hit that subscribe button. Be sure to turn on all post notifications so that you never miss a video. And if you've made it here from the OG channel, hey, what's up? Welcome to a continuation of this journey. And with respect to additional generous contributions to the channel, if you'd like to make one, those options can be found on screen near the conclusion of this presentation and in the description box below. If you live with a cat, you've probably noticed that their ears feel very different from the rest of their body, at least from time to time. That's because feline ears are uniquely built. They're quite thin, lightly furred, a little bit furry, and packed with blood vessels. Unlike the chest or the belly of your feline, there's very little insulation. You can probably just see that by looking or just a quick touch. This means that ears, they lose heat rather quickly, especially when your cat is resting or sleeping. Even in a very warm room, feline ears can feel cool or even cold simply because they're quite efficient at releasing that heat. One of the biggest reasons cats have cold ears is blood flow. A cat's body is constantly prioritizing where warmth is needed the most. Vital organs, the heart, the lungs, and the brain, of course, always come first. When a cat's just chilling, relaxed and calm, or sound asleep, less blood is sent to those ears. And less blood flow means less warmth naturally, and suddenly those ears can feel cold to the touch. This is a normal and it's a healthy process. It doesn't mean, at least in this example, in this scenario, that your cat is sick, uncomfortable, any of those things. Ears, they play a big role in temperature regulation. Cats don't sweat the way we do, so instead they rely on small little subtle changes in blood circulation to manage that warmth, manage that heat. When a cat does need to chill and cool down the body, blood vessels in the ears will expand just ever so slightly, allowing that heat to escape. When conserving heat, these vessels will contract, constrict. Some cats are simply more noticeable in how their ears reflect these changes, making those ears feel cool perhaps most of the time. Another factor here is activity level. The activity level of your cat, not necessarily in that moment, but just generally. How active are they just as a whole from day to day? What's the normal routine in terms of activity? If your cat loves to nap, perhaps they're older and they nap a lot during the day, they've been napping for hours, their circulation will slow down overall. So cold ears are quite common during deep sleep. If you've come to this video, clicked on it because you're concerned about it, I ask you now, and you can make a note in the comments. When you feel your cat's ears and they are a little bit chilly, let's say, what would you say the percentage of the time is that you're sort of touching those ears when they're asleep, or they're relaxed, or they're just coming out of a sleep? So place that in the comments. Once your cat wakes up, ready to go, stretches, walks around, you may notice that, touch those ears 5 to 10 minutes later. They're quite warmer than they were 10 minutes prior when they were napping, asleep, what have you. This is a good sign. This right here is a great example. It means everything is, it's working like it should. Your cat's breed. Physical traits, they also matter. Cats with larger ears, thin skin, and short hair coats, they lose heat much faster through those ears. Oriental breeds, Siamese cats, the Devon Rex, especially hairless breeds like the Sphinx, they often have ears that feel cool no matter what, even in warmer or even hot environments. Their body, their anatomy allows the heat to escape more easily. And this is normal for them, and it's usually a lifelong thing, from kittenhood until well up into senior status. Your cat's metabolism, individual cat's metabolism per your cat plays a role. Just like people, cats sort of have a different baseline and in their circulation, the circulation pattern. Some cats naturally run a little hot at their core and cooler in their extremities. If your cat has always had cool ears, let's say your cat's 12 years old, and you've had them since day one. They've always had cool ears, but is otherwise healthy and behaves normally like they always have. This is very likely just who they are, what they are. It's their personal biology. So with all of that said, and I think this is possibly why you're here, to make sure everything's fine. What's considered normal with all this? Cold ears are 100% normal when your cat is calm, sleeping, relaxed, or perhaps just waking up. They're normal if the ears are their usual color. Your cat is alert when they're awake, like they're not sort of struggling to wake up. Once they're awake, it's bright eyes and bushy tail. They're wide awake. They're eating normally, no signs of lethargy. Energy level, no matter what their energy level has always been, that it's where it is. It's what you know it to be. They're normal. They're using litter box fine, eating and drinking, and just overall acting like themselves. So even with those cold ears, if everything else is fine, and they've always had cold ears, yet they've always been fine, that's a good sign. Cold ears that warm up with movement, gentle petting, typically all of that, nothing at all to worry about. However, there are certain situations where cold ears deserve a closer look. If your cat's ears are cold and they seem lethargic, basically, before I begin here, the opposite of everything that I just said. If they seem lethargic, seem weak, seem unusually quiet, seems like they're awake but they're not really wide awake, like they're struggling to wake up over a course of minutes, maybe even half an hour. Cold ears combined with pale gums, shivering. They're shivering, but the rest of their body, hey, it's not too warm either. Everything seems a bit on the low temperature side. If they're hiding away, all of that. Low body temperature, like I said, poor circulation. It could signal they're having poor circulation all over. This is very concerning, certainly much more concerning than just the standard cooler ear, especially in kittens, senior cats, or if you know your cat has an underlying health condition. Sudden changes. If this just happened out of nowhere, if your cat's ears are normally warm and they suddenly become persistently cold, that shift is more important than the temperature itself. Like if it's happened just a stark change with no obvious outward explanation. Changes in circulation can be linked to an illness, dehydration, a heart condition, anemia. In these cases, cold ears are not the problem. They're a symptom of a bigger issue at hand. And this is obviously, let's get that cat to the vet as soon as possible. Let's talk about the environment. Environmental factors can contribute to the cooler ears, even if the room feels warm to you. It could be perhaps where your cat is resting, cold surface, relaxing near the windows. Even if it's a warm room, if they're near the windows, a cat's ears can cool quite quickly for all the reasons I've already named. Cats don't always move away from these spots because their core. Hey, if their core is warm and comfortable, they're not as concerned about those ears and what they're feeling like. So check where your cat has been resting. That can also give you some content of, hey, been resting, is there a draft? Been resting near the windows. That could explain the cool ears, or even the cooler ears compared to normal. It's also important to remember that ears alone, they don't tell the whole story, right? Always look at the whole cat. Like I mentioned, your cat's overall body temperature, their overall energy level. Are they really awake when they're awake? Are they eating and drinking? Are they responsive and moving normally? A cat with cold ears who is playful, very affectionate, behaving normally is certainly almost always fine. From your perspective, caring for your cat, the best thing you can do is just observe. And I say this in various videos. I've said it on many videos on the primary channel here at Senior Cat Wellness, and I'm sure I'll say the same as time goes along on this very channel. Patterns. It's not really a single moment. It's not about what has brought the moment in question. It's what brought you to this moment. What's different from their baseline? Have you noticed something over the course of a week that's just a bit different? And just how they're behaving. Are their naps changing? Are they not eating as much? Take the baseline and watch for subtle changes. Sometimes that's how you get out ahead of things. When you're talking about a health concern, if you can get out ahead of what's going on, you can take your cat to the vet, have them looked over, and perhaps diagnosed and treated before something becomes sort of out of hand, let's say, and it's more of a problem. Know your cat. Your individual cat. What are they? Who are they? How do they act from day to day? That knowledge, it's priceless. If you ever feel unsure, just trust those instincts. You know your cat better than anyone, especially if you had them for day one and they're 10, 12, 15 years old. When something feels off, especially these cold ears that have shown up with other symptoms, unusual symptoms, it's call that vet. Make a call and then bring the cat in if so advised. Catching potential issues early, hey, that's a grand thing. It's part of being a loving and responsible pet parent. In most cases, though, cold ears, just one of those random things that feline trait that may seem strange to us, but it's perfectly in line with a healthy cat's body. It's not a sign that your cat is cold or uncomfortable. It's simply a reflection of how those ears are made. And cats can be quite complex. Understanding all of this can turn a moment of worry into good reassurance, which is what we're looking for. Maybe even a little appreciation for those little chilled out ears that sometimes you just touch them. Sometimes you just touch them. Hey, it's what makes a cat a cat. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness 2, what are your thoughts on today's material? Your cat's ears, do they stay a bit chilly regardless of the environment? Your personal ownership stories and commentary. I'd love to read what you have to say. That comment section, as always, it's all yours. And if you enjoyed today's content, found it helpful and informative, please give the video a like, share it out, and subscribe to us right here at Senior Cat Wellness 2. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.